What is going on, you guys? Welcome on into another episode of the Only Swimming Podcast. We call it a swimcast, but it's really just a swimming podcast where we talk about all things learn to swim so we can help you overcome your fear or anxiety of swimming, of deep water, of anything swimming related so that you can swim without fear and with 100% confidence every single time. How you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm really excited to be here. We just put up a brand new video. If you guys haven't had a chance to see it, head on over to @Caribe Swim on YouTube, which you obviously are at YouTube if you are watching this. This happens.
Good to be thorough.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a couple of shoots, but when we're doing it in one take, you get to see the real deal, and this is what happens sometimes. But anyway, since you're at YouTube, head on over to the Freestyle Mastery video. That's the final part of our 4-part series that we just put up, and we're really proud of this 4-part series and how it delivers teaching the foundation of freestyle to our brand new swimmers. So what was your favorite part of making the 4-part series?
My favorite part of making the series was definitely kind of like finally saying out loud that kick doesn't matter as much as we've been, for being a competitive swimmer our whole childhood. Kicking in competitive swimming is really important.
Mm-hmm.
I know that before when I taught adults prior to understanding how to actually teach them, also teaching to kick harder or to, use a different technique and to be able to finally just say, hey, don't overthink the kick.
Yeah.
That was a really exciting moment for me.
Yeah. And first off, thanks for sharing that. And what a really important aspect of learning to swim that we're just starting to peel the onion, I think, on a lot of this. And you brought up a really interesting point, and we can dive into that a little deeper. And I'd like to right now. One of my favorite things to do inside of these podcasts, kind of come up with a topic, go into it, and then as it starts to unfold, kind of see where the road takes us. And this is a really good one, which is the difference between the mentality of thinking about swimming and what that represents to an entire market of people. Because how it's thought of primarily in the marketplace is when you say swimming, you think of freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly. You think of the core swimming strokes on the competitive side. However, that isn't really what the masses are doing. And it's so funny. I think about this primarily when we were teaching kids full time. I had founded a swim school 11 years ago in Atlanta and taught a lot of kids, probably 250,000 swimming lessons there. And I always thought it was funny that swim programs would teach kids how to do backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly at the age of 3 and 4. As if what they're doing in their backyard pool in the summertime are swimming laps and strokes.
So I just realized how backwards this is in these industries, is that we have non-competitive swimmers teaching competition strokes to kids.
Yeah.
Because when you go get a swim lesson, usually, unless that program is partnered with a swim team and those kids on the swim team work for them over the summer, otherwise you're not getting a competitive swimmer teaching competition skills.
Yeah.
You're usually getting someone who has zero experience in competitive swimming.
And with very little training.
Yeah. Teaching kids the mechanics of things. And usually if you're taught wrong, the foundation stages of that, good luck on learning those bad habits, and then you're going to get disqualified every weekend at swim meets, and it's going to be no fun.
That's a bleak outlook, but yeah.
Yeah, that's an
good luck.
exaggeration.
You're never gonna be able to do it. I think the point here is that that industry is packed with. I love how you phrase that. Non-competitive swimmers teaching competitive swimming strokes. And there's a distinction here to bring it back to the adult side. There's a distinction here between what you're doing in learning how to swim and how that is taught versus how it should be taught if you're swimming on a competitive swim team.
Yes.
And the challenging aspect, and I think we can intertwine this really, really well, is that if you don't have a competitive swimming background as a coach, a foundation of that, there's no way you can pick up on the nuance of these details. And how this relates to you and why we're bringing this up is if you go to a swim school, they're popping up everywhere. I'm not going to name names, but they're literally almost on every corner now, I feel like, in a lot of major cities. And you look for adult swimming lessons, most of the time you're going to get taught by someone who is hired to teach kids how to swim primarily, and they do adults. So if that's the case, those are non-competitive swimmers most of the time, like 95+% of the time, now teaching you how to swim, and we don't, nothing against them. We just don't understand the nuance of details like that.
Right. For competition style swimming. So, so all the data, all of the curriculums are based off of that type of information.
Right.
But then people without any experience in that actual segment are teaching it.
Yeah. So how does this relate to you? That's the question here.
Yeah.
It relates to you because if you go to get swimming lessons by someone that is not a specialist in adults, they're going to tell you to kick harder. Universally. Okay. It's what everyone tells kids to do. Small, fast kicks, kick harder, harder kicks. And that's just those talking points are going to get translated over to the adult side too. This is really problematic because, as you mentioned earlier, your favorite part of teaching adults in this series your favorite part of filming this series was starting to peel the onion, paraphrasing here, on or lifting the veil to the fact that adults are being taught incorrectly everywhere. And that actually the technique is to kick less, not more.
Yeah.
And as little a detail as this sounds, why I'm covering it so hard and why we're talking about it over and over again is this is a major detail in learning how to swim. Let's go into some of the reasons why that is. All right. Reason number one is the gross majority of the time, kicking is done incorrectly by new swimmers. And incorrect kicking leads to tension because we're exerting a lot of energy. We have to flex the muscles. Tension causes density. All right. So already we're being put in a non-optimal situation. Number two, it fatigues us 2 to 3 times faster than our arms. All right. Those are big, big muscles that take up a lot of oxygen and they fatigue really quickly, a lot of lactic acid. And so you got to get more breaths. It just, the problem exacerbates really, really quickly. And I know I'm hitting this point hard, but if you get anything from this, and we said this also in the final video that we just put out, which is if you get anything from this video series, number one, relax. And number two, kick less.
Yeah.
And I mean way less.
And
so
yeah, learn how to control like breathing.
Yeah.
But yeah, less is more. Overthinking is oversinking.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would love to hear from you guys. What part of the course did you find most interesting? What part of the course do you find most helpful? Are there aspects of the course you would like us to go into more detail on? How can we help you? And it's really kind of a good segue into our Learn to Swim community, which we have decided on a name. Really, really excited about this. It's called the Swim House. And let me give you some background on swim house stuff, okay? So I competed at Notre Dame, and as is the case at most universities, there's a swim house, and that's where the swimmers go to. Swim teams are known for parties.
Oh, are they?
Oh yeah, at Notre Dame we are known for a thing called Pigtostal.
I went to a dry campus.
Wah, wah. Oh, I'm allergic to beer, so
there you go.
And most of the swimmers just drink beer. But anyways, swim house is where all the parties were, and we were known at the university. We, as in, like, I was not there. I had social anxiety, so I was at these parties. But we were known for swim house was known for throwing parties. We're transitioning that now, and swim house is going to be known for teaching adults how to swim. That's what I'm trying to say. And we're really, really, really excited about this opportunity to bring together people that are going through similar struggles. One of the things that we love about social media, like YouTube, like Facebook, is that we get the opportunity to reach the masses. We spent our entire life learning how to teach swimming at some of the highest levels of the sport in the world and developing and crafting our skill to be able to reach you guys. However, we fall way short in the ability to impact change at a large scale. And that's where community comes in. And there's technique that we can teach. And then there's experience that you guys share. And both are so valuable. You really can't do this thing without both sides of that. And so if you haven't, please join Swim House. The official launch, we're kind of in pre-sale right now, but the official launch is about 10 days away. It has gotten pushed back twice. My apologies on that. But there's a lot that goes into us creating the appropriate community for you guys and making sure that there's a ton of value inside of it, which there is. What you can expect are much more in detail videos on technique, drills, building of skills, live Q&As with me and Meredith. Ask any question. We got access to a meditation vault, access to a breathing vault, challenges, which are really cool. We'll gamify, which are like holding your breath challenge, front floating challenge, treading water challenge. Also, if you haven't yet, check out our page, join in the community section. We're doing a poll right now on which one of those challenges you would like to see. So what aspect of the swim house are you most excited about bringing to life?
Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about this. So the most exciting aspect to me is having challenges and getting to know like our new community members and seeing people who come in, you know, wherever they are, say they can't swim at all, and then they get to go through the challenges that we've set up, and who knows where they'll be in like a year, from going from not swimming at all to being able to front float to being able to tread water for 5 minutes to like taking every challenge in the next step, and just really getting to see how much people get to progress in swimming, just with time and intention, and seeing how that changes people's lives.
Oh, we're so excited if you can't tell. My best recommendation is to join for a year. We are going to be offering that community on a monthly rate and on an annual rate. If you do the annual rate, you save 2 months. And the reason for this is I think to master something, we have to intentionally invest our time in it, consistently over time. And let me give you an example of this. All right. And it's from both of us. But podcasting and getting on camera is not something that comes natural. And if you can go back into the streets of YouTube and find, not at Caribe Swim, but at Swim Revolution or at swimmable.com, find some of my earlier videos. I didn't have hair then, so don't judge me. And see what my reps look like. Reps as in like how well I communicated on camera in the beginning, and it was atrocious. I look back and I laugh. I mean, it's hilarious because I thought I nailed it back then, and no, total flops. But the point of that is that you got to go through the reps, and it takes time. And if you put in reps consistently over time, you're going to start to evolve into a better, more capable version as compared to who you were when you started. And for me, now I look forward to being on camera. I look forward to delivering what I have in my head to the masses to help. I look forward to communicating and helping people. And before I was terrified. And so I think that's the reason why joining for a year is really valuable, because as adults, we've spent our entire life in some sort of fear-based state around swimming or around the water, especially deep water. And yet simultaneously, as adults, we seem to have this expectation that we have to overcome it very, very, very quickly, or we're doing something wrong. And that just isn't true. We will give you the best techniques in the world to do, and you will learn. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time and exposure. And so I invite you to invest in yourself for that period of time, because I can put our name and reputation behind the fact that you will learn how to swim in that period of time in the swim house. So I think that's my pitch for the day. Got anything you want to add to that?
Just that I'm super excited to see everybody in the community. I know personally, I can't believe the amount of growth I've had in the last year.
Mhm.
Just, working on things, like we all have things that we want to work on, and getting to look back at memories from 1 year ago or 2 years ago to like these small habits that I started changing, and just seeing that compound. I can't wait to see that happen for all of you in our community learning to swim. You just have no idea what you're already capable of. You just have to start on your journey.
Oh my goodness. Well said. I'm really excited for that too. There's nothing more rewarding for us than to watch transformation. And that is what is going to happen. You will have a transformation, and it will be amazing. And whether we get the opportunity to reach you in a base membership, or you decide on some of the additional courses, or we get to see you in San Juan, Puerto Rico in October and November, which I would love to see everyone there. It's going to be an epic event in October and November. We're hosting 4 Learn to Swim weeks between October and November at the Al San Juan in San Juan, Puerto Rico, where you can not only enjoy the Caribbean, get a vacation, but learn to swim while you're doing it. I mean, come on, let's go. So nonetheless, transitioning out of this, what I would love to see before we wrap up for today's episode, I would love your feedback on what you guys want to see next. We've just, as I mentioned earlier, wrapped up the freestyle masterclass, YouTube masterclass. If you do join the swim house, we do go into much, much, much more detail on all of those videos. So consider that, and also the drills that you can use in order to continue progressing inside of those topics. But with that being said, I want to know what you guys are interested in learning more about. We're going to add a poll immediately after this post goes up and goes live to receive your feedback, and I'd love to hear from you. Personally, I think it's we're interested somewhere between learning how to hold our breath longer, learning how to overcome our fear of deep water, like the actual skills that it's going to take to be able to do it, learning backstroke. What do you have any other suggestions?
Breaststroke,
Yeah.
or like the more informal
That style.
Swimming on a stomach and breathing forward.
Yeah. So nonetheless, after you finish watching this episode, if you could head on over to our community section in YouTube and place your vote, that would be super, super helpful. And as always, we'd love to hear from you if there's anything we can do to improve or to deliver world-class learn to swim information for you, so you can unlock the portion of your life that has been locked, and you can enjoy snorkeling, swimming in your backyard pool, being present with friends and family, the millions of things that you can do when you're confident in swimming, and we want to help you get there. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us. and we'll see you at the swim house. Take care.